Hello, and welcome to this video. I am your host, Mr. Rex, and you are watching Armored Wisdom. Have you ever found yourself ruminating, wondering how you ended up agreeing to something you initially didn't want? Have you questioned why certain conversations leave you feeling as if you're in a fog, doubting your own thoughts? It could be that you're being subtly manipulated without even realizing it. In this interconnected world, we're constantly interacting with different people, each with their own intentions and methods. Often these interactions are harmless or even enriching, but what happens when others' intentions become dark and their methods manipulative? Today, we're delving into the complex and often hidden world of manipulation. This video isn't just a simple talk. It's a revelation, a journey towards understanding the 10 most subtle and powerful forms of manipulation, and most importantly, how you can defend yourself against them. Why is this knowledge crucial? Because we live in an era where manipulation doesn't just come from the people around us, but also from larger, omnipresent structures like media and social networks. Knowing these techniques isn't just an act of self-protection. It's a step towards greater autonomy and personal freedom. Today, I'll guide you through this maze, showing you how to recognize and neutralize these tactics. From gaslighting that makes you question your reality to emotional manipulation that plays with your deepest feelings. Together, we'll unravel these strategies, providing you with the tools to maintain your power and make decisions that truly reflect your desires and needs. Join me on this journey of discovery and empowerment. If you find value within it, consider like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks. Number 1. Emotional manipulation. Emotional manipulation is like an invisible chess game where the pieces are your emotions and the board your mind. Imagine walking through an enchanted forest where each tree represents a different emotion. Joy, fear, guilt. Each of these trees can be shaken by someone to make you lose your balance. First, it's crucial to understand that emotional manipulation isn't always evident. Often, it's disguised as concern, affection, or even a loaded silence. The manipulator is like a skilled magician in the art of diverting your attention so you don't see what they're really doing. This process begins with small actions or words that seem harmless but gradually envelop you in a web of doubts and fears. A common tactic is the use of guilt. Imagine a friend asking you for a favor. Upon refusal, they respond with a sigh of disappointment and a look that says more than words can express. "I thought we were friends," they say. And suddenly, you find yourself questioning your decision, feeling selfish for putting your needs first. Another subtle form of emotional manipulation is fear. Someone might insinuate, without saying it directly, that something bad could happen if you don't follow their advice or do what they ask. It's like being in a dark room where the only light comes from the person manipulating you, making you dependent on their guidance and direction. So, how can you defend yourself against these tactics? The first step is self-awareness. Take time to know your emotions, to understand what makes you happy, sad, angry, or scared. Like a gardener who knows every plant in their garden, you must know every emotion that blooms within you. This will give you the foundation to recognize when someone is trying to play with them. The second step is to establish clear boundaries. This doesn't mean building an impenetrable wall around yourself, but rather having doors that you can open or close at will. Learn to say no without feeling guilty, and accept that you can't always please everyone. The third step is to seek balance in your relationships. A healthy relationship is like a dance where both participants move at the same pace and with the same respect for each other. If you feel you're always dancing to someone else's tune, it's time to rethink that relationship. Finally, Never underestimate the power of honest communication. Confronting someone who emotionally manipulates you isn't easy, but sometimes a simple, "I feel this way," or "I'm not comfortable with," that can be enough to change the dynamic. Emotional manipulation is a dark art, but with awareness, clear boundaries, balance, and communication, you can become a master in the art of protecting your emotions. Remember, in the chess game of life, you are the king or queen of your own destiny. Number 2, beware of logical fallacies. Be alert to arguments that seem logical, but are based on fallacies, such as personal attacks or generalizations. In arguments, logical fallacies are like mirages in a desert. They seem to offer refuge and truth, but as you get closer, they vanish, leaving only confusion and deceit. A logical fallacy occurs when the presented argument lacks a solid foundation, although it may seem reasonable or convincing on the surface. Identifying these fallacies is crucial for navigating the maze of daily communication and protecting oneself against subtle manipulation. A common type of fallacy is the personal attack, known in Latin as ad hominem. This occurs when, instead of addressing a person's argument, their character or personal attributes are attacked. Imagine you're debating politics, and instead of responding to your points, your opponent begins to criticize your education or past. It's as if, instead of playing fair, someone decided to throw sand in your eyes, to blind you and steer you away from the real issue. Another frequent fallacy is the hasty generalization. Here, a small sample or personal experience is taken and extended to an entire group. It's as if after seeing one bird fly south, you conclude that all birds in the world fly south. This fallacy feeds on stereotypes and prejudices and is fertile ground for discrimination and misunderstandings. There's also the slippery slope fallacy, which argues that a small first step will inevitably lead to a chain of negative events. It's like saying that if you allow your child to stay up late one night, they will inevitably become a chronic insomniac. This fallacy plays with the fear of future consequences, often exaggerating possible effects. To protect yourself from these fallacies, the first step is to educate yourself about them. Knowing their forms and how they manifest in conversation is like having a map in this desert of mirages. When you hear an argument, ask yourself, is it really addressing the central point? Is it based on solid evidence or assumptions? Additionally, developing critical thinking is essential. Don't take everything you hear at face value. Question, analyze, and seek the evidence behind the arguments, like a detective in search of the truth. Finally, learn to recognize and avoid using these fallacies in your arguments. Keep your discussions focused on facts and logic, and you'll be contributing to a more honest and productive dialogue. In short, being alert to logical fallacies is like having a compass in a sea of confusing and often deceptive arguments. It keeps you on the path of reason and truth, protecting you from being manipulated by arguments that, although they shine like gold, are in reality as solid as air. Number 3, gaslighting. Gaslighting, or psychological manipulation, is a subtle and often insidious form of emotional manipulation. It's akin to a mental game where the manipulator attempts to sow doubts in the victim's mind about their memory, perception, or sanity. It's like someone slowly moving the furniture around in your house and then denying that anything has changed, making you question your reality. This tactic can take various forms. One of the most common is denial, where the manipulator simply refuses to acknowledge the truth or invalidates your experiences. Another form of gaslighting is the distortion of facts. The manipulator may twist reality to make you doubt your memories. For example, if you clearly remember a conversation where something was agreed upon, the manipulator might insist it never happened, or that something completely different was said. It's like being in a maze of mirrors where each reflection distorts reality a bit more. Gaslighting can also manifest through trivialization, where your feelings and thoughts are minimized or ridiculed. It's like being told you're making a storm in a teacup over something genuinely concerning or painful to you. To detect and counteract gaslighting, it's important to trust your intuition and your memories. If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. Keep a record of events, conversations, and your feelings. This can be a journal or notes on your phone. Having a factual record can help you validate your experience and remember the exact details. Practicing meditation or talking to a therapist can be greatly helpful in maintaining your emotional well-being. Gaslighting is a form of emotional manipulation that can make you doubt your reality. Being informed about how it manifests and developing strategies to trust your perception are crucial steps to protect yourself from this harmful tactic. Remember, your reality is valid and deserves to be heard and respected. Number 4, peer pressure. Awareness of group pressure is crucial in understanding how peer or group dynamics can influence our decisions and beliefs. Group pressure, whether subtle or overt, significantly impacts our choices and perceptions, often steering us in directions we may not necessarily want to go. This form of social manipulation capitalizes on our innate desire to belong and be accepted by a group. It can range from something as simple as dressing a certain way to fit in, to as complex as altering our beliefs or behaviors to align with those of the group. In essence, it's like feeling compelled to follow the flock to avoid being the odd one out, even if it means compromising our own values or preferences. To resist group pressure, it's essential to develop solid self-esteem and self-confidence. Knowing who you are and what you stand for serves as an anchor amidst the tumultuous waves of societal influence, keeping you steady and grounded. Furthermore, it's important to recognize when we're being influenced, whether overtly or subtly. Sometimes group pressure is explicit, with someone directly encouraging certain actions. Other times, it's more implicit, with everyone in our social circle adopting a particular opinion or lifestyle, making us feel compelled to follow suit. Learning to say no and establishing boundaries are vital skills in resisting group pressure. You don't have to be confrontational, but being firm and clear in your decisions will help you stay true to yourself, like a tree with deep roots, remaining steadfast in the face of strong winds. Surrounding yourself with a support group that respects your individuality and values diverse perspectives is akin to finding a safe harbor where you can be yourself without fear of judgment or pressure. Ultimately, making decisions based on your own values and principles rather than succumbing to societal expectations is crucial for living an authentic and fulfilling life. Remember, it's okay to be different and make your own choices, even if it means diverging from the crowd. Number 5, identification of excessive flattery. Be aware of when flattery is used to gain your trust and then manipulate you. Excessive flattery, that shower of compliments that seems harmless, can be a very cunning tool of manipulation. It's like a sweet, attractive bait, hiding a hook underneath. When someone showers you with constant praise, it can be easy to get carried away by the stream of good vibes without realizing that you're being primed for deeper manipulation. This type of manipulation plays with our ego and our need to be appreciated and valued. It's as if we are offered a magic mirror that reflects the best version of ourselves, so seductive that we forget to look behind the surface. But it's crucial to remember that when praises are excessive or don't align with reality, there are likely hidden motives behind them. To protect yourself from falling into the trap of excessive flattery, the first step is to develop a healthy self-esteem and a realistic self-assessment. Knowing your strengths and weaknesses gives you a solid foundation to evaluate the praises you receive. It's like having an internal navigation system that tells you when you're on genuine territory and when you've entered the realm of exaggeration. It's also useful to observe the context and frequency of the compliments. If praises come from someone seeking something from you or occur with unusual frequency, there are probably hidden motives. It's like when someone offers you a sweet every time they need a favor. Eventually, you start wondering if they really like you or just want something from you. Maintain a healthy emotional distance when you feel flattery is excessive. Politely, thank but don't get carried away by the praise. Think of it as carrying an umbrella on a sunny day. It may seem unnecessary, but it protects you in case it starts to rain. Seek opinions from people you trust. Sometimes an external perspective can help you see if the praises are genuine or a manipulative tactic. It's like having a second pair of eyes that help you see what you might not be able to see for yourself. Finally, learn to differentiate between sincere compliments and manipulation. Genuine praises are usually specific and relevant to the situation, while excessive flattery tends to be vague, generic, and disproportionate. Excessive flattery can be a subtle but powerful form of manipulation. By having a healthy self-esteem, critically evaluating praises, and maintaining emotional distance, you can protect yourself from being manipulated and keep your relationships based on sincerity and mutual respect. I congratulate you. You made it this far. I insist you to leave a comment. You must have noticed I have more than one subscribe, but only a few view. I got some comments saying, "What's the issue here?" It's just that I came back on YouTube in this February, after a 1-year break. If you want to help me to wake up this channel, I suggest you to subscribe. Let's continue our journey. Number 6, recognition of isolation tactic. Be alert if someone tries to keep you away from your friends, family, or work buddies. It's a sneaky trick that can really mess with your head. By cutting you off from the people who care about you, the person pulling the strings makes you easier to control. Imagine you're stuck on a deserted island with nobody but the person who put you there. Scary, right? Well, that's kind of what it feels like when someone tries to keep you away from your crew. They might start making you doubt your friendships or relationships. It's like they're shining a big spotlight on any little problem until it seems huge. They might also try more direct stuff, like insisting you hang out with them all the time, or dissing your other pals. It's like they're building a wall around you, blocking you off from the outside world. To fight back, stay in touch with your friends and family, even if someone's trying to keep you away. They're like a lifeline to reality, helping you see things clearly. Set clear boundaries, too. If someone's trying to control who you hang out with or what you do, put your foot down. Think of it as building a fortress where you get to decide who gets in. Trust your gut. If something feels off about how someone's messing with your relationships, listen to that feeling. It's like your internal alarm system trying to keep you safe. And if you feel like you're being kept away from everyone, talk to someone outside the situation, like a counselor or a friend you trust. They can help you see things from a different angle and remind you what's real. Knowing when you're being kept apart from your crew is key to staying in control and feeling okay. Keep those lines of communication open. Trust your instincts, and you'll stay strong against anyone trying to mess with your relationships. 7. Spotting when you're pressured. Watch out for ultimatums, those tricky situations where someone gives you a choice under pressure. It's like standing on a cliff with nowhere to go. Manipulators use ultimatums to rush you into making a decision, making it seem like you only have one choice. They limit your options to what they want. Recognizing this tactic means noticing when decisions are presented in extreme ways. Like, if you really loved me, you'd do this, or our friendship will end if you don't do this. These are big warning signs that someone's trying to control you. Ultimatums might seem reasonable at first, but they often show a lack of respect for your needs. It's like a sneaky trick, hiding something harmful. To handle ultimatums, take a moment to breathe and resist the pressure. You usually have more time than you think. It's like hitting pause in a video game, giving you time to think. Think about the consequences of each option. Ultimatums are designed to make one choice seem much worse than the other, but thinking long-term can help you see the bigger picture. Be clear about your feelings and boundaries. By expressing how the ultimatum affects you and what you're not willing to do, you show you're not easily swayed. If you keep facing ultimatums in a relationship, it might be time to rethink things. A healthy relationship shouldn't be filled with threats or pressure. Being alert to ultimatums and managing them effectively is crucial for staying true to yourself and making decisions based on what's best for you. Stay calm, think about your options, and communicate your boundaries. These are key steps for handling ultimatums. 8. Recognizing blame. Blame is recognized when someone tries to make you feel guilty to control your actions or thoughts. It is a subtle but powerful manipulative tool, like a poison that slowly infiltrates your mind, causing you to doubt yourself and your decisions. To detect blame, it is key to recognize when someone is trying to transfer the responsibility of their actions or emotions to you, making you feel perpetually guilty. This tactic can take many forms, such as someone saying, "You make me feel bad when you don't do what I ask," or "If you hadn't done that, I wouldn't have reacted this way." It's like being given a distorted mirror that reflects all your movements as mistakes or faults. To counter blame, it is crucial to assert your own reality, remembering that your feelings and perceptions are valid. Do not let someone else rewrite your story or make you feel responsible for things outside your control. Think of it as holding a shield that protects you from the poisoned arrows of guilt. Practicing self-reflection before accepting blame is a useful strategy. Asking yourself if you are truly responsible for the situation. And if the accusation is fair, it's like looking at a map before embarking on a journey, ensuring you are on the right path. Communication also plays a crucial role. Express how you feel when someone unjustly blames you and set clear boundaries. For example, you might say, "I understand you're upset, but I do not accept responsibility for your actions." It's like putting a "do not enter" sign in your emotional garden. Additionally, it is important to surround yourself with supportive and respectful people. A healthy and positive environment is like fertile soil that allows your best to flourish, instead of rocky ground where nothing can grow. In summary, detecting blame is essential for maintaining your emotional and mental well-being. By recognizing and confronting this tactic, you can protect yourself from being manipulated and ensure that your actions and thoughts remain yours, free from the shadow of unjust guilt. Keep your mind clear, your boundaries firm, and your environment healthy to navigate safely through the labyrinth of blame. 9. Awareness of information overload. Be wary of situations where you are overwhelmed with information, often complex or confusing, to hinder your ability to make clear decisions. Information overload is like a storm in your mind. It's like being given a puzzle with too many pieces, expecting you to give up and let them take control. To protect yourself from this information storm, the first step is to recognize when you are being inundated with too much data. If you find yourself in a situation where the amount of information is overwhelming, take a moment to breathe. It's like pausing in the middle of a frenetic movie to understand the plot. Then try to simplify the information. Breaking down the data into smaller, more manageable parts. It's similar to dismantling a complicated engine piece by piece, making it easier to understand and handle. Another effective technique is to ask questions. Clarifying doubts can dispel the fog of confusion. Finally, trust your instincts. If something feels overwhelming or confusing, it could be a sign that you are being manipulated. It's like an internal radar, alerting you to potential dangers. Being aware of information overload is key to maintaining your autonomy and decision-making ability. By recognizing, simplifying, asking questions, and seeking advice, you can remain calm in the eye of the informational storm and make decisions that are truly yours. Remember, in a world where information is power, protecting your mind is protecting your most valuable fortress. 10. Identifying topic shifting. Imagine this. When you're talking to someone about something, but before the conversation finishes, they escape from the conversation by changing the topic. These signs are really obvious, but annoying and manipulative. When someone constantly changes topics to avoid responsibility or to confuse you, topic shifting is like a magic trick in a conversation. One moment you're discussing an important issue, and suddenly the topic shifts to something completely different, leaving you puzzled and disoriented. This tactic is used to divert attention from sensitive or compromising topics and is a subtle but powerful form of manipulation. Think of it as being on a clear path and suddenly finding yourself in a maze of dead-end conversations. Manipulators are experts at this game of misdirection. When cornered or questioned, they quickly change the topic to evade responsibility or scrutiny. It's like a dancer performing an elegant step to avoid stepping on dangerous ground. To stay grounded amidst these conversational twists and turns, the first step is to recognize when it's happening. If you notice that the topic changes suddenly, without a logical transition, it can be a red flag. Once you identify a topic shift, try to steer the conversation back to the original issue. Maintain calm and firmness, and don't get swept away by the current of irrelevant topics. If the topic shift continues, directly question the intention. You can ask, why are we changing the topic? It's similar to turning on a light in a dark room, revealing what is being hidden. Finally, establish clear boundaries in communication. If you feel the conversation is not productive or is constantly veering off course, it's okay to end the discussion. It's like knowing when it's time to leave a game that is not being played by fair rules. Identifying topic shifting is crucial for maintaining honest and transparent communication. By recognizing, redirecting, and questioning these changes, you affirm your right to a meaningful and respectful conversation. Remember, in the art of conversation, staying the course is as important as knowing how to navigate in this journey through the 10 ways to recognize and confront manipulation. We have explored a range of tactics used by those who seek to influence our decisions, emotions, and perceptions in an unethical manner, from emotional manipulation to topic shifting. Each strategy reveals how manipulators operate and how we can defend ourselves to maintain our autonomy and integrity. It's important to remember that awareness is our most powerful shield. By knowing these tactics, we are better equipped to identify and counteract attempts at manipulation in our daily lives. It's like having a map in complicated territory, guiding us towards safety. Manipulation can present itself in various forms and in different areas of our lives, whether in personal relationships, the workplace, or even the public sphere. However, with the right knowledge and skills, we can stand firm against these challenges, protecting our minds and emotions from unwanted influences. I hope this video helped, though it's a long video, but worth it. If you made it this far, I thank you from bottom of my heart. peace.